What's up, guys?
Hello.
Welcome back to Black and Blurred. That's Darren.
Hi.
I'm Brandon. We want to touch on some recent events in the country we think are linked to the heart of this podcast and related to what we talk about. It has to do with the tragic events in Atlanta this last week.
Right.
Spell that out for him a little bit. Just
so there was a guy who he killed 8 people in a spa, and I'm assuming it was Asian owned.
I'm actually not sure yet,
but I mean, usually they do own them in this country, and apparently all in their cultures and obviously in their country what they specialize in. But yeah, so this guy, crazy dude, went in and killed 8 people total. The news reports that 6 of them were Asian women. And usually not in the same report, you'll find that the other 2 people were white, a man and a woman. And what he said, the guy, I mean, this is actually one of the few mass murders where the mass murderer is alive to even hear from.
Yeah, right.
Usually he kills himself or the police killed them.
I assumed that.
I did too. The only other one is I think Dylan Roof, the guy who went and shot up a church in South Carolina, I think. But yeah, this guy said that he had some kind of sex addiction. He was kind of ridding himself of some kind of sexual urge or pornography or whatever it was. It was a very deranged reason to kill 8 people.
Right.
Some reports said he probably had visited that place multiple times before. Like, who knows? But today, of course, the narrative is that he did it because he hates Asians.
Right. And not only that, I've heard personally from Asian Americans that hearing the sheriff or any authority speak on the matter in such a conclusive way regarding his motives felt disrespectful. That it felt disrespectful to conclude that there were no racist motives, that this had to do with his sex addiction and things like that. And I think that's fine to feel that way. I think it's good to voice that. However, I think in the nature and for the sake of progress, we can't police each other's thinking.
That's a waste of time.
Well, yeah, I mean,
anytime anyone does something to you wrong, specifically in the church, right? Imagine if in the church somebody did something to you wrong, a fellow Christian did something to you wrong you didn't like. You can just say, "Oh, it's because you're racist." If the other person doesn't look like you.
Well, not only that, if someone else who's not even related to the incident says, "Well, I don't think so," then they get looped in with the evil act as well.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. Like, when I was reading this, I wasn't aware of what was happening. I just got some random email, and I thought the wording was weird because we're very used to having our race imputed into every circumstance in this country. I remember the email just said, "We're grieving today. There was a tragedy in Atlanta where there was a mass murder, where 8 people died, 6 of which were Asian." And I was like, that's interesting. Why did they just mention that?
Yeah.
And that's something we pay attention to, right? Anyway, because we know the phraseology and we know the language in other scenarios to incite, right? This division and this schisms, right?
Yeah.
Incite schisms in a divide where it's like
and violence.
A white police officer shoots and kills a black man. That stuff is on purpose. And I know that people may not realize that, or they may disagree with that we need to know their skin color in order to care. And I think that's already sick. But like you said, from that, the story completely moves away from the 2 individuals who are also killed in that. And as far as the narrative and the things that I started seeing on social media, because, once the TV gives the marching orders, then the people go out.
Yeah.
And what they were doing when they were going out is arguing and feuding about his motives.
Yeah. Before families can even grieve well, there's already a conclusion made about why he did what he did and where you stand if you don't condemn the reason why we say he did what he did.
Right. And I remember we were in a conversation this past weekend, and I asked the question. I said, I'm trying to understand what the people will do with the victory in this war. So the ones who say we know that this was sexist, or sexual deviance, right? We know it was sexual deviance. Well, what will you do with that victory? And then the ones who say we know that this was racism, what will you do with that victory? What's the point? Why are we trying to get to the bottom of that? Unless there's something else that we're trying to validate here. And I think that there may be some things that are where Asian Americans are seeking validation, and I think it involves, one, the silence on the matter of the way they've been treated in this country. Actually, that's it. I think that's it. I just think that that's being handled improperly. I think it's being handled improperly because then the narrative, what's happening is it's being inserted into the overarching narrative of the day, which is white people suck. I think if we're honest, we can say that, right? That's an overarching narrative of the day. White people suck, and they are the cause of all of our issues.
Right.
And with that being inserted into this narrative, the racist motivation seems to contribute to the validity of the proposition white people suck.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, hey, look,
which is why this is the one incident that they decided to blast all over the news.
That's right.
Where Asians have been
mistreated
when it's been happening.
Mistreated, very obviously general.
That's genuine.
Understatement.
Yeah.
No, understatement regarding this incident where they were murdered. You get what I'm saying? Mistreatment is just an understatement.
Oh, no, right. I mean, but this isn't, unfortunately, this isn't a unique incident.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like, that's not something that doesn't happen often.
And so what we do, and even part of our name, Black and Blurred, we are unblurring the narrative of humanity. First, from personhood and what it means to be a person, what ethnicity is. Shout out to Center for Biblical Unity for the shirts. How there's one human race, but then how we take our distinguishable factors and make them dividing lines, where those dividing lines have been torn down by Jesus Christ. And so we want to unblur that with this narrative. We see that the narrative is pointing to a main culprit.
Yeah.
Once again, white people.
Hitler did that.
And we speak from experience that narrative is false.
Yeah.
We're from Baltimore, Maryland, West Side. And in the small mom and pop shops in our neighborhood owned by Asians or any other foreigner that was either broken English speaking or didn't speak English, they were subhuman.
Yeah.
Obviously not treated like that by everyone, but spend a nice 8-hour day in there.
Yeah.
They get treated like
in there and they got like 6 feet of bulletproof glass between you and guess what? They will be some of the most, our parents used to know Jenny at the Chinese restaurant store at Ding Ho. They knew our parents, some of the most nice people, always gave us extra food, like, you know what I mean, just stuff like that. But they got this 6 foot of bulletproof window, because they've been through something.
Yeah, they
don't get that for no reason.
And their videos out.
I hate Asians. Look, he's scared. OG, crack your.
Yeah, there are videos all around of like elderly Asian men. I think majority elderly Asian women. Being attacked and assaulted. And you want to talk about cowardice? However. We'll do a different episode on this, but stay strapped. You know what I mean? Stay strapped. My Lord.
Equalizer.
Stay strapped. However, and so this narrative that removes the reality of what humanity is and its brokenness and its darkness closes that up and then opens that reality on one colored people. One colored people. Like, wait, white is the color.
Yeah.
Not colored. The negras. but yeah, it opens it up on white people, and it shines the spotlight, and it says, "Hey, you want to find an issue with this world? Look at them.
With them. Yeah,
look at them."
Yeah, there's a statistic that says that in California and San Francisco since 2008, violent crimes against Asian Americans and first generation Asians, maybe they're not even American yet by what's the term?
What?
By status. But the attacks have gone up 85% since 2008. And 85 those attacks have gone up significantly since 2008, and 85% of those attacks are from other minority groups. Because their shops and salons and their spas and their restaurants are in inner cities, it's typically other minorities, Black and Arabic people attacking them.
Do this word problem for me. During the Black Lives Matter riots of the dreaded year of 2020, was there any violence during those riots?
Whole lot.
Was there any destruction of property during those riots?
$2.2 billion.
Where did those riots take place? In the suburbs?
Inner cities.
Where do you find a lot of Asian-owned shops?
Inner cities. And guess what? This is where we can validate the pain of Asian Americans watching. So they have to watch since 2008. First of all, Asian Americans have been the stepbrother of the minority groups for a long time, right? And have been mistreated in this country for a long time. Some of them, dare I say, have seen worse treatment, especially ones our age, of our generation, have seen worse treatment than we ever have as Black people in this country.
100%.
And so they have to watch, since 2008, people parade about Black Lives Matter as their stores and their parents' stores being broken into by Black people.
And you better shut up about it too.
You better not talk about
because if you talk about Black people, who is the prima victora, whatever, I just made that up, Latin for the prime victim. But we have the untouchable status of ultimate victim.
Right.
So you better not bring up anything about Black skin.
Yep.
You better not hold anyone accountable.
Only thing stronger might be a transgender white person.
Oh well, yeah, that's growing. I mean,
maybe. But they have to watch BLM parade around their stores as they tear their stores down in the inner cities and watch them on the news being portrayed as victims when they've been through some stuff that's just being untouched by the media.
Yeah.
And that's where we can have a common enemy.
Like people our age, so a lot of Asian Americans, because of where their family live, went to inner city schools. I mean, if anybody who's Black and went to a public school knows what it's like to be the minority in a Black school.
Oh yeah. You're either the white boy, the Asian boy.
And we're not saying it's worse.
No.
But the way that the picture is painted regarding the status of a racist white person is diminished and excused or silent. It grows silent if it's not a white person.
Yeah.
And so therefore, from the onset, we can't have an honest conversation.
No.
And so that's what we want to do. We want to have honest conversations about it. We know that there are things we talk about that may be offensive. And frankly, we love the truth too much to let that stop us. Yeah. Now, if you would like to talk about that, you can genuinely reach out to us. You can contact us, leave a comment, like this video.
Call 986-7801.
Leave a comment. Subscribe to our podcast. And check out our episode, Majority Minorities. We did this last year. It's a good conversation with two of our Asian American brothers, our Korean American brothers. So check out that episode. Thank you guys for listening to this video. Holler at us.